signal to the world that we are open for business.
We are now open for business. This is 𝗕𝗏𝗏 bringing you yet another episode to guide you in discovering your passion and growing your business as we learn from experts in the field. Sama-sama tayong matuto sa isa na namang makabuluhang usapan tungo sa pagpapaunlad ng inyong negosyo. Ang Open for Business ay mapapanood nyo rin sa Facebook, sa YouTube. Kaya siguraduhin mag-like at mag-subscribe sa aming social media page at Net25TV. Alamin natin, suriin mula sa mga negosyante, thought leaders at mga personalidad sa iba't ibang larangan ang mga strategies, trends at mahalagang karanasan sa pagninegosyo dahil tayo ay open for business. Get ready to indulge in a world of pure chocolate bliss. Join us as we journey to the heart of the Philippine chocolate industry and discover Malagos Chocolate from tree to bar. We'll uncover the secrets of their award-winning treats and how one woman's passion put the Philippine chocolate on the world map. This episode is a must-watch for chocolate lovers as Puentespina Jr., Head of Sales and Marketing of Malagos Chocolate, spills a chock-full of secrets of their success, only here at Open for Business. And while we're on the topic of sweet success, here's a new addition to the Open for Business team. Joining us is Miss Jamie Herrell, who will bring us important news and information essential to the business environment. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you, Cesar. You'll get to hear more of my reports later and every Sunday here at Open for Business.
This portion is brought to you by Sky.
Dahil walang hinto ang balita.
Financial straits.
Mata ng Agila Weekend tuwing Sabado, alas 4 ng hapon. Ito ang Net25. Matatag, matapag, matapak.
Sa 5 taong pamamayagpag ng Net25 program na Open for Business sa Pilipinas, naging go-to business news program ito ng mga nakararaming mga Pilipino, partikular na ang mga future entrepreneur. At ngayong araw, ipinakilala ang pinakabagong personalidad na magiging parte ng lumalaking pamilya ng Net25 kung saan magiging katuwang siya ng programang Open for Business sa paghahatid ng latest business trends sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Net25 would like to welcome Miss Jamie Herrell as the newest member of the Net25 family, especially Open for Business. Her vast experience and her insights are very relevant to Open for Business, our business show. We look forward to working with Jamie in a lot of segments, a lot of business news, and also interviews with the CEOs and industry.
So I do see an urgent need to not only promote how Philippines is open for business for international companies, but most especially to show support for the small businesses as well. So thank you so much, President Cesar and Net25 for having me here, and I am absolutely excited.
Siya ay si Miss Earth 2014, Jamie Herrell, isang host, newscaster at ngayon ang pinakabagong business anchor ng Net25.
Jamie, first of all, congratulations and welcome to the Net25 family. I know you as Miss Earth 2014, but para sa ating mga ka-Net25, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, I've been in the media industry for a few years already, and I used to work in different newsrooms as well. But just to give you a brief background, yes, I used to be Miss Earth 2014, but I see myself also as somebody who can get along with everyone, like somebody that is all about team effort, and that's why I'm really excited to be here in Net25.
Si Jamie Herrell ay isang journalist na may malawak na karanasan sa usapin ng business at lifestyle. Para kay Jamie, importante na mabigyan ng mahahalagang impormasyon ang ating mga kababayan tungkol sa business news sa loob at labas ng bansa na mayroong direktang implikasyon sa pag-unlad ng ating ekonomiya.
I think it's really important to be aware about what's happening with our economy because it affects our business one way or another, whether it's political or getting to know like your indirect or your direct competitors. It's always basically, I consider information as gold because you can always learn something and you can also learn how to navigate your business if you're aware about what's happening in the economy.
Bakit nga ba malapit sa puso ni Jamie ang usapin tungkol sa pagnenegosyo?
Since I used to be a business owner myself way back, I think it was like for 8 years I ran my own business after the pandemic it closed. So of course, like for me, Open for Business is a battle cry to support all of the small and medium enterprises here in the Philippines, and hopefully we can elevate them with our show.
Ang Open for Business ay isang programa kung saan ibinabahagi sa mga manonood ang pinakabagong market trends and business opportunities sa bansa.
Can you invite our Net25 viewers to continue to support you and watch out for you here on our channel?
Okay, yes, everyone watching Net25 right now, thank you so much, by the way, Net25, for making me a part of your family. And please watch Open for Business. We're not only airing on Net25, but we can be seen anywhere in the world if you just follow and like and watch our shows on Facebook, on YouTube, and I believe there's also Instagram as well for more updates and details about what's happening with Net25. Thank you so much.
This portion.
Pilipinas, isang bansang arkipelago na nahahati sa tatlong pangunahing pulo, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Binubuo ng 7,641 islands na napaliligiran ng mga anyong tubig. Kinikilala sa likas nitong ganda, kamanghamanghang kultura at kaaya-ayang turismo. Nakahanda ng sumayad ang aming gulong, umaraw man o umulan, baon namin ng iisang layunin na makapaghatid ng bagong kwento habang nakasampa sa aming motorsiklo. Isasama namin kayo tuwing Sabado, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is Motorcycle Republic.
Let's get together sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Dedication and passion helped elevate one of the Philippines' most beloved chocolate brands to international acclaim. Today, we are joined by the head of sales and marketing at Malagos Chocolate, a part of Malagos Agri-Ventures Corporation, a company that has become synonymous with premium quality, sustainably produced chocolates that celebrate Davao's cacao industry. No wonder it has been recognized internationally as among the best. Our guest hails from a family with a deep-rooted legacy in agriculture and innovation. As a third-generation Puentespina, he carries forward a tradition of excellence bringing a fresh perspective and dynamic energy to the role. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the Head of Sales and Marketing of Malagos Chocolate, a passionate advocate for Philippine cacao, and the proud torchbearer of the Puentespina legacy, Jam Puentespina Jr. Welcome to Open for Business. How are you, Jam?
Good, thank you for having me.
I mean, off cam, we were talking about this episode where I was able to interview Rex as well. And when I asked you how are you related, somehow I was surprised. So how is business handling from second generation to the third generation, which I think is a very good legacy that can be really appreciated by a lot of Filipinos, especially the ones who are also family-owned?
It's been fun. My background is really in sales and business development. Before I was working for the family business, so it was more about how to apply my skills where I learned elsewhere into a context of chocolate and being a homegrown brand. So it's been fun.
So hindi ka rin talaga nagsimula agad doon sa family business nyo, Jam?
No, I had a few years of experience with other companies in different industries as well.
Is that also at the end, alam mo, Jam, it's not only you who I met, who had that experience na parang hindi sila agad pumupunta doon sa family business. Sometimes they explore other areas in other industries. Like in your case, even if the opportunity is there in the family business, somehow you wanted to try other industries. Is that really your plan before you venture into the business, family business?
Yeah, that was always my plan prior to coming into Malagos Chocolate. I wanted to see what else was out there before really like committing to something like this. So yeah, I think it kind of informed me of how to work, how to set a standard for myself outside of the family business, and then when it was time, I was able to apply those skills.
Was there pressure also from family business, like Rex, telling you to join immediately? As I interview a lot of businesses also who somehow have the same experience, there is sometimes a clamor for other members to join immediately because of the demand. Especially if it's a family business, they want people they trust.
In my case, it wasn't as immediate. When I graduated from university, I was kind of allowed to explore my own thing and do my own thing. But after the pandemic, there was a time when we kind of lacked manpower, and then my dad was the one who requested, like, hey, we need some help. Maybe it's time for you to have a stake in the company. So that was kind of the beginning of my involvement, at least.
I was able also to speak with the Department of Trade and Industry Under Secretary 𝗏𝗏, who is now really pushing for MSE development. And one of the major thrusts of DTI Under Secretary 𝗏𝗏 is to promote MSMEs, for them to be recognized and be able to really inspire other businesses as well. And the good news is that the company, Malagos, received the Presidential Award for Outstanding MSME in the medium category. I think it was no less than the President who awarded that. So, ano yung pakiramdam na meron kayong Presidential Award for an outstanding MSME?
Yeah, it was a very proud moment for sure. I was there at the ceremony in Malacanang with my dad and my grandmother, who was the one who started this whole thing. And I was very happy for the both of them because they built this company from the ground up and were able to apply the natural bounty of the land in Davao into something that people from Davao and the Philippines can identify with as something that is truly ours. So for them to have that recognition from the President, no less, is a very proud moment.
Now, you mentioned about your father and your grandmother, correct? Miss Charita Puentespina.
Yes, that's correct.
Maaari bang ikwento mo paano ba ito sinimulan at ipinaglaban na maging priority crop ang cacao? Kasi based on our research here, there's a lot of things about the Philippine cacao, which is really exemplary. And so far, you are taking the lead in putting cacao and putting the Philippine chocolate in the global map. Can you walk us through on the journey to international success?
I think it all begins with my grandmother and my grandfather, because when they were starting out in the 60s and 70s, when they were building their own businesses, my grandmother was really involved in the agriculture scene. And her background is really in cut flowers and ornaments and tropical plants. So she was doing that for a while. And in the 80s, there was a resurgence of the 𝗦𝗁𝗁𝗏𝗏, which is an endemic orchid here in the Philippines.
And that is also a thriving industry.
Yes, that's correct.
That business, cut flower business.
Yeah, so my grandmother is actually credited for the resurgence of that, of the 𝗦𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗏. So yung background niya is very strong in, agriculture and planting things, like very much a green thumb in all ways. Eventually in the 90s, they were building an ecotourism park called Malagos Garden Resort. And in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, they were able to expand the land adjacent to the resort. And there were existing cacao trees there. That was kind of the genesis of their journey in cacao. So when that land was acquired, she decided to, hey, sayang naman yung mga puno na to, can I do something about this? So she started rehabilitating it, studying the processes for the cacao to reach like a very high standard. So she was doing that for a few years, and then fast forward to 2012, she, alongside my father, founded Malagos Chocolate. So there was an 8-year runway from when she started with cacao up until she decided to create her own brand.
That's a very impressive summary. But I'm just curious on, this expansion or probably diversification, di ba? From cut flower to cacao. Pero sabi nga nila, Jam, pag green thumb ka daw, kahit na ano ang itanim mo, di ba? At saka ang Philippines naman ay very conducive for cacao production. Was that a big transition from cut flower to cacao?
I think for her at the time, it was a very natural transition. It was also a combination of different factors, because cacao does not grow everywhere in the world. It only grows around the equator. And Davao is, in one of the southernmost parts of the Philippines. So the very tropical climate, everything is conducive to crop growth. And it just so happened that the land that they had acquired already had trees there. It was just a matter of someone to take care of it. Different combination of things that kind of set us up for success, almost 2 decades down the line,
You mentioned that Davao is really conducive for this production, and dapat yung malapit talaga sa equator. Pero dito sa Pilipinas, do you have other plantations? Are you eyeing cacao production, or what other plantations or lands where you grow cacao aside from Davao?
I think there are different areas around the Philippines already that are also growing cacao, but for our use, we are planning to focus our efforts within the Davao region. There have been a little bit of expansion just nearby the farm, but that's as far as we've gone so far.
Can you give us also an insight, what's the difference between, I know that you have this market research or market competition as well, but has there been a difference between the quality of the cacao produced in Davao versus the ones grown or produced in other areas of the Philippines?
Well, I can only speak on behalf of what's in Davao, but I would say the amount of sunlight that our area gets, the amount of rainfall, the elevation from sea level, and even the neighboring fruits, all of these factors come into play. Very region-based, and everyone is talking about origin. Also, where was your grapes? Where's your vineyard? Where, like, malapit ba siya sa tubig? Is it, how much sunlight does it get? May winter ba dun? All of these different things. So cacao is very much the same thing. So everything around the fruits influence the flavor. So I guess Davao just has that when it comes to cacao.
Pero Jam, I'm just curious, if we want to establish the Philippines for the cacao industry, bringing it to the world market, do you think there's enough land, there's enough supply, so that we can serve the needs of the world market? Because here, parang sinasabi dito, in terms of historical significance, in terms of industry structure, production hub. Although our research says that the Davao region is the primary cacao producing area in the Philippines, and that's 80% of the total output.
Yeah.
Pero yun ba nakakasapat, Jam? Or do you think there are other ways to expand that in other areas?
I think there's definitely room for expansion. I think it's just a matter of market education locally, domestically, that, you know, we have to encourage consumers to buy their chocolates from local producers. It doesn't even have to be from Malagos, but as long as you're supporting the industry, people will be encouraged to participate in planting cacao.
Paano kayo nakakatulong ngayon sa local community? Kasi sabi mo nga, parang even if it's Malagos or non-Malagos, but as long as you support the local entrepreneurs or the local producers, in terms of supporting local farmers and creating jobs, can you walk us through, you know, with this effort? And I think that is one of the reasons why you got this presidential award as outstanding MSME in the medium scale category.
I agree that our community efforts really the biggest contributor to our presidential award. I think the industry wouldn't be where it is today without the efforts of my dad and my grandmother in 2012 when they were first starting the brand. And as for our efforts now, we contribute to the community by having the Malagos Cacao Development Center, which is a purchasing area outside our farm where neighboring farmers could sell us their wet beans. So that way, we can, you know, support yung mga neighboring farmers na ensuring them na may mabebentahan sila ng produce nila. And at the same time, we also provide extension services to them and teach them good agricultural practices.
So no need for a middleman, parang ganyan.
Yes,
so at least
exactly.
that center is parang, basically it's a market and you directly, and the producers go directly to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's also single origin because they're also from our neighboring areas. So the flavor profile is more or less the same. So it kind of works for us also. We get to use it in our products.
And Jam, I like what you said when you say you also teach them tips, diba? Production tips, because you know I understand, especially if the Philippine chocolate has to reach a standard, not at par, but it could be better than the foreign brands. Ano yung example ng mga itinuturo ninyo sa mga farmers to ensure that they would also sell you the high quality that passes your standards?
We teach them a lot of the fermentation practices and drying processes that require cacao to be at a global standard. And that way, at the end of the production process, when we buy the raw material from them, we can ensure then na, okay, maganda yung raw material that we're using for our products. So it works both ways. Like, we get to share this knowledge with them and at the same time, supplement yung supply that we grow ourselves.
So how much are we supplying, maybe not necessarily from your own, but maybe industry data? Gaano ba kalaki yung Philippine chocolate industry at nasaan na tayo? At may pag-asa pa bang mapalaki yung sinusupply natin? Kasi katulad sabi mo nga, our bananas are known internationally, even our mangoes. Pero you know, the first time I got this encounter with the Puentespinas, doon lang ako na-educate na how important the role is of the cacao industry in our economy. So how are we getting there in terms of our contribution to maybe siguro the Philippine chocolate industry muna and then the global trade?
To use your example as the bananas or halimbawa dried mangoes, we are not yet at that scale, you know, na for exports, and then we're looking at really big markets in Japan and in the US. I definitely believe that there is a potential for the Philippine cacao industry to go in that direction, but I think malayo pa.
Pero which countries na Jam are we supplying with our cacaos? Are we supplying both? Ano ba yan? Parang raw materials din sinusupply natin o meron na ring finished products?
So for us, we have supplied the raw material to other countries around Southeast Asia. But in terms of the finished product, we've exported to Singapore, Japan, Hong Kong, sa States, and a very little bit sa UK and in Germany. But other than that, we haven't had the chance to explore kasi our supply just can't match the volume that exporting requires. We also want to take care of our domestic clients. So, you know, it's a balancing act between ubusin ba natin yung stocks natin just to supply this client in Japan, or do we want to take care of everyone else na clients na dito?
So, ibig sabihin, Jam, dito pa lang sa Pilipinas, parang malaki na rin yung demand natin.
Malaki na yung demand, but I would say that it's more of a supply issue. Like, there's not enough, at least for us, there is not enough supply to satisfy the demand at this point. So, kaya kami nahihirapan, and that's one of the challenges that we face now. Yeah.
You mentioned about, you know, exporting to these countries. So far, how's the feedback? Based on our research, you're getting awards, recognized as one of the best 50 beans in the world. That was some years ago. And then there's this recognition of the taste and the quality of chocolates made of cacao. Ano yung feedback coming from them? How is our chocolate compared to the other brands?
The feedback that we've gotten for our products is very good. And I think the numerous awards that we've gotten internationally since we started prove that and validate that. So, in terms of flavor, kayang-kaya talaga to compete on an international level. But in terms of selling it there, I think is another question, because air freight is expensive coming from the Philippines. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows that. So once it lands, for example, in the US, the value, it just skyrockets. Like for retailers in the States to participate and be enticed to sell our products, medyo hirap na, because, for example, a bar, I'm just giving a random number.
Yes.
Halimbawa, $20 na for a chocolate bar. For them to sell it at that price, it might be not worth the hassle for them, you know. So to compete with that, kailangan numbers game na siya. So we have to fill a containers worth para maging maganda yung cost for them to bring it there. But at the same time, to fill a container is a lot of chocolate as well. So different layers of that problem.
Yes. Pero with these challenges, Jam, and you being already the leader in this industry, what support, you know, would you think is needed so that both government and the private sector also can help?
On the government side, government agencies should be subsidizing farmers that want to get into cacao, you know, set them up and kind of help them lower the barrier to enter, you know, cacao planting. Parang help them out with seedlings, supply them with planting materials, education then in classes of how to ferment and dry the products. On the private side naman, I think the regular consumer should, you know, participate in the industry by buying local talaga. Yeah.
So kasi bakit nga ba minsan siyempre alam naman natin pag Pinoy, 'di ba? Parang pag branded 'yon, yung binibili nila, 'di ba? Pero has there been studies from your end to make our Philippine chocolates more appealing in terms of I don't know if is it taste, or is it the packaging, or is it the branding? So how do you describe the Philippine chocolate or the chocolate consumers? Are they clamoring for, you know, I love chocolates as well, Jam, you know, and my wife also loves chocolates. But meron ba tayong hinahanap talaga, or ang Pinoy ba doon sa taste buds nila talagang ano ba yung panlasa ng Pinoy pagdating sa tsokolate?
Speaking on a general level, I think people are looking for something sweet, you know, something that I'm gonna use like grocery store chocolates, for example, parang, or candy bars. People have been conditioned to believe that, you know, chocolate is supposed to taste like that. But in Malagos' case, we're primarily a dark chocolate brand, so it won't be as sweet, but it's also healthy.
Pag dark chocolate,
pag dark chocolate, yes. So because it's minimal sugar, and if you notice on the back of our packaging, our chocolates probably have like 4 or 5 ingredients, you know, so.
And those ingredients are? Meaning, parang what does it do? What are the benefits with those ingredients?
Anti-inflammatory, and if you have pre-existing conditions, for example, diabetes, it's somewhat safe.
So there's a lot of healthy benefits then.
Yeah.
Parang mas parang like say, but if you want to control, your
Yes.
sugar intake, this brand is for you.
Definitely,
I see.
For comparison, I mentioned we have 4 or 5 ingredients.
Okay.
A normal grocery store chocolate would have 20.
Oh.
You know, so there's different kinds of oils in them, you know, and if you're trying to watch what you eat and trying to watch your health, I would recommend looking into what are the ingredients they use. So
I see. So a lot of artificial siguro, parang ganyan. But what you're saying is parang with lesser ingredients, parang this is pure. Parang this is pure cacao. So, something that's very healthy.
Yeah.
I see.
This portion is brought to you by Northview Solutions. Let us build it for you.
The categories for this year's Asia CEO Awards 2024 are SME Company of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, Diversity Company of the Year, Woman of the Year, Most Innovative Company of the Year, Sustainability Company of the Year, Young Leader of the Year, Wellness Company of the Year, Technology Company of the Year, IT BPM Tech Blazer of the Year, Corporate Governance Company of the Year, CSR Company of the Year, CEO of the Year, Service Excellence Company of the Year, Top Employer of the Year. Nominations are now open.
One of the major achievements that you had, and that's the reason why we believe that you were also recognized with the Presidential Award, are your sustainable farming practices. Paano ba yun? When we define kasi sustainability, di ba, parang we make sure that there's available resources for the future generation as well.
Yeah.
So what are these sustainable farming practices implemented at Malagos?
If we're talking about the process that we practice strictly, we have very strict fermentation and drying facilities that really monitor what goes in and out of our facilities. In terms of sorting also, we're very strict. We don't mix good beans with defective ones, so we have this whole process that goes through that. And we also embrace biodiversity at the farm level as well. So if you look at pictures of the farm, or if you're ever able to go one time, I think for every maybe 4 to 6 cacao trees, we have 1 coconut tree that's surrounding them. So it's a very symbiotic relationship between the trees that we have. I think this also imparts some of the flavor that you can taste in the chocolate products.
So there's 1 cacao tree halimbawa, tapos
so there's 1 big coconut tree, and then
coconut
sa baba
tree.
ng coconut tree, there are probably 5 to 6 cacao trees underneath.
Pero yung coconut trees ninyo, parang ano rin yun? Kumbaga, I mean, this is also, you're expecting production as well? Are you also...
We also harvest from the coconut trees, but it's definitely not at the same level as the cacao.
Yes. For what purpose? Are these for production of other products as well?
Currently, we're not using it to produce, but we sell them...
Parang as coconuts?
Yeah, as coconuts, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's good. But I'm sure there's also good output there. But but what you're saying, Jam, is that there's some sort of diversification din, di ba?
Yes.
Kumbaga yun ang problema. Dapat minsan in other farms, di ba? Parang they maximize it. So hindi lang pang sa crop na yun, di ba? But there's a lot of uses as well. Okay, there's this one uniqueness of Malagos as well. Malagos is known for its unique single origin Trinitario cacao beans. Ano ba yun? And why did you choose Trinitario?
Trinitario is a variety of cacao. The long and short answer why we chose it is because they were already there in the farm. So going back to my story about my grandmother in the early 2000s, she started cultivating the existing trees on the property. They were already Trinitario. So I guess that kind of stuck to our identity as a company. And, it's worked out for us since then. So, yeah.
Is this unique to Malagos? Parang,
No, it's not a unique variety.
Another thing is this heirloom cacao. Heirloom cacao is considered the diamond of cacao, wherein the trees and beans are weighed on its history, cultural, botanical, geographic, and flavorful value. This is a major achievement as well, and it speaks of your craftsmanship and the mastery of this product. How does it feel to be awarded with that?
It definitely validates what we do on the farm level, because all of the other awards are concerning the end product already. So to have an award like the Heirloom Cacao designation is something to be really proud of, and it's only unique to us in the Philippines. So we're the only heirloom cacao farm in the country currently. And maybe I could also give a little background about what it means then. So
go ahead.
The Heirloom Cacao Award, or rather the designation, is from the Heirloom Cacao Preservation Fund. So it's a non-profit organization by the Fine Chocolate Industry Association. They're based in the States, and their mission is to preserve the unique varieties of cacao around the world. So they have researchers, they go around certain parts of Latin America and in Africa and Asia looking for varieties of cacao that are worth preserving. So they identify the biology of the cacao, identify na this is important, we have to save this, and this is unique to the region. So we actually have a product, it's called the 72% heirloom bar. So with that, we only use the beans that are harvested from the heirloom trees.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, umbaga siguro para mas madali ma-explain sa mga nanonood sa atin, parang ano ba yan? Parang heritage site. Parang ganun ba yan? So, kumbaga heritage site kada para, like say for example, that's unique to this country.
Yeah.
And they will help to protect and preserve that. Tama?
Yes, that's correct.
I think I asked this earlier, pero what makes the Malagos chocolate different from the other chocolates in the market? With these awards, which is already a testament din naman of the high quality of your chocolates. But again, when we compare it with the other chocolates in the market, how different is it? But of course, I like what you mentioned. You have, somehow with these 5 ingredients and its health benefits, diba?
Yeah.
That is a major advantage. But can you cite other uniqueness of the Malagos chocolate?
So I think every treat-to-bar or specialty chocolate manufacturer is definitely unique in their own way. But what makes us different is of the origin of the cacao. So we only use beans that are located around their area, and because of the terroir and because of the weather and the sunlight and rainfall that we get throughout the year, it imparts a fruity, citrusy, and somewhat also acidic flavor profile. So because of the unique factors that come into play with the environment in our farm, all of these contribute to what make us Malagos.
For some people, Jam, di ba parang there's a lot of, like they call it, chocolate is a chocolate, parang apple is an apple is an apple. Parang ganun din ba yan sa chocolate? Unless you are, someone expert in chocolate or in drinks, di ba? You will know the difference. So in your case, can you tell us more about your product lines? Like, say, there are people, di ba, parang you see sometimes even in grocery stores, in department stores, di ba, there's a whole line of section for chocolates alone, di ba?
Yeah.
So, are you addressing specific product lines for specific consumers? Kasi I appreciate what you said. Kapag ikaw ay health conscious, di doon, you get the, you get the, what type of chocolate is that? The dark chocolate.
The unsweetened chocolate, yes.
Ayun.
Yeah.
So, what are your product lines and who are you addressing it to in terms of consumers?
During the genesis of the brand, our main target market was really the HoReCa industry. So that's hotels, restaurants, and caterers. That's really our core business. So we supply our chocolate as an ingredient to chefs around the Philippines and some countries in the world to use our chocolate for their pastries, desserts, ice cream, even entrees sometimes have chocolate. So that's our main product line. So we also have our ready-to-eat products that come in smaller packages. So these are your 85-gram bars that what people will know as the shape of chocolate. Then we also have our gift sets, which are a big seller in the tourism industry. So ginagawa siyang pasalubong, ginagawa siyang corporate giveaway, even wedding gifts. We offer customizable options as well. So if you want to make your event extra special, you could have your name on the chocolate packaging and then commemorate it with like a date or something, or like maybe a company logo. We're also expanding to our confectionery line. So this is more candy oriented naman. So marshmallows, Rice Krispies coated in chocolate, different other things. So it's a slow expansion, but we're happy to, explore different avenues of how to apply our product.
No, which is good because there's a lot of trends. Kasi di ba nag-iiba na yung even the younger generation daw. There's also a shift of consumer behavior.
Yeah.
So what are your innovations? What are you doing to make sure that somehow you address the demand, for this new trends in the chocolate business?
So like I said earlier, we are expanding into more of a confectionery line and pouring our efforts in research and development in that department. We also are looking into exploring the byproducts of the different fruits that we can harvest in the property. So just recently, we actually launched 𝗏𝗏𝗏 juice concentrate and cacao juice concentrate. These are the pressed juices of cacao and 𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's a different application. Syempre, it doesn't taste like chocolate as we know it in our minds, but it's still the fruit in a different form. So we are exploring things in that department. We are also looking into the health benefits of cacao. So we actually partnered with DOST, looking into the byproducts of cacao and how it could contribute to like our functional health.
There's really a lot of potential because, again, based on this research, globally, the country ranks 72nd in exports with a global market share of less than 0.01%. Despite a history of cocoa bean production dating back to the 17th century, the Philippines' current output is limited compared with other global and even regional players, generating a total of just over $24 million in exports in 2015. So talagang ano pa siya, kumbaga parang maliit pa at mapapalaki pa. And this research also states that the Philippines is one of the countries in Asia seen to have a competitive advantage for cacao production due to its strategic location, good climate condition, and favorable soil. So, my question here related to that is, ano ba yung mga challenges ninyo that somehow hampers or hinders you to develop the industry? And what are your hopes and visions for the future of Malagos Chocolate and the broader cacao industry in the Philippines?
I think one of the main challenges that we're facing now is the instability of cacao prices globally. So it's a very macroeconomic challenge that we can't really address on an individual level, because for context, in January 2024, I think the price of cacao per kg was around 200 to 240 pesos. And then it peaked sometime in April or May of this year to like 500 plus.
Wow.
So, like 2.5x siya in a matter of months. And syempre, happy yung farmer to supply the same product at 2.5x the price.
Pero nagpo-process kayo eh.
Yeah, but as a farmer processor, syempre, yung costs naman are keep increasing. So that's a very big challenge for chocolate makers around the world, not just limited to Malagos. We are exploring different avenues and expanding our product line around that.
What is the future of Malagos? Parang I'm sure with all these new developments that you are sharing now, and you know, from Sir Rex to Sir Jam here, there's been a lot of things that happened already, especially post-pandemic. I interviewed Rex, I think, during the pandemic. We were via Zoom, and it's great to see you here, Jam, you know, face to face. So, in terms of pandemic, ano ba yung pagbabago na ng industriya? Are you, you know, one of those industries or companies, you know, that somehow benefited also post-pandemic?
During the onset of the pandemic, we suffered a lot because our business is very tourism reliant.
Yeah.
So, syempre, we have a bunch of stores in Davao, and we were actually supposed to open a store in Manila in March 2020. Buti lang hindi natuloy.
Oh yeah, tsaka nag-close kasi during that time, March.
So,
shut down.
Yeah, pagbagsak ng lockdown, syempre everything stopped. There were no more tourists. Our key clients who are restaurants and hotels, syempre bumaba din yung business nila. So, there was a long recovery period, but I'm happy to say that nag-recover kami throughout the tourism boom ng 2022 and 2023. And moving forward, I think we can expect further expansion from us in terms of retail areas, hopefully, and further expansion in the export avenue. Like, we have a very long way to go there, and we're very hopeful of our overseas clients.
You mentioned also Jam, kasi sabi mo, tourism or tourist dependent ang produkto ninyo.
Yeah.
How do you see the developments in terms of tourism initiatives in the Philippines? Have you seen somehow a lot of developments that also, although it's one of also of the key investment priorities, di ba, yung tourism?
Yeah.
So are you seeing a good development in terms of this?
Yeah, I can definitely see that the tourism has come back, especially for us. With the Chocolate Museum, which was founded, I think, in 2017, 2018, pinupuntahan siya talaga. Not just tourists, but also people who live in Davao and the area that want to learn more about the Filipino heritage in cacao. Pinupuntahan siya. So we're very thankful for the success in that department.
Jam, thank you so much for gracing Open for Business, and we also thank the Department of Trade and Industry Undersecretary 𝗏𝗏 Roque, you know, for facilitating this interview. Now, your camera is there. What is your message to the farmers and also to DTI and to the consumers? Sabi mo nga, they should buy local products instead of buying the foreign brands. Why don't you just enjoy, you know, how tasty and how healthy the Philippine chocolates are?
I'd like to thank DTI for helping put this whole interview together. We're very appreciative of your support from day one. My message to farmers and people in the industry would be to continue innovating and continue your hard work. We are in this together, and your success is our success, and our success is your success as well.
That's the best way to end this conversation, and we hope everyone will be enjoying the Malagos chocolates. This has been chock full of discussion about the success of the legendary Malagos chocolate. And we thank you very much, Jams, and we look forward to seeing more of the legacy of your family, especially in promoting agriculture. I am so amazed that you said from cut flour to cacao and other things, and you may diversify into a lot of products and you continue to innovate. Open for Business. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
Herrell bringing you business news and information here at Open for Business. DTI eyes amendment on intellectual property law. The Department of Trade and Industry plans to propose amendments to the intellectual property law to help strengthen its enforcement and help startups, among others. Trade Chief Alfredo Pascual said that supporting and protecting startups will boost innovation and technology adaptation. The DTI is also eyeing a modernized IP framework to enhance enforcements against online piracy and boost IP education. Flights between India and the Philippines soaring soon. The Philippines and India will conduct initial chartered flights towards the end of 2024 as talks between the two countries to mount commercial flights, according to Department of Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco. Local tour operators and travel agencies were also encouraged to mount group travel from India to the Philippines. USDA expects increase in Philippine pork and chicken imports. Chicken and pork imports by the Philippines are expected to rise this year as producers look for alternative markets in response to falling China demand, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The USDA said that major meat exporters like the EU, Brazil, and the U.S. will look to sell more to the Philippines, Japan, and South Korea. The country's pork imports are forecasted to increase to 500,000 metric tons this year against the 448,000 metric tons estimated by USDA last year. Karina victims offered Pag-ibig GSIS loans. Members of the Pag-ibig Fund who were impacted by Super Typhoon Karina have been offered calamity loans amounting to as high as 80% of their regular savings. Meanwhile, the government service insurance system has announced the allotment of 18.5 billion pesos worth of funds that can be used as emergency loan for members and pensioners affected by the natural disaster, particularly those residing in Metro Manila, Rizal, and Batangas. The Social Security system also said calamity loans will be offered to members in disaster-hit areas. And that's the Business Roundup for this week. I'm Jamie Herrell for Open for Business.
Open for Business is at the helm, the state of the nation's business environment. This week, President Bongbong Marcos delivered his third annual report to the nation, the State of the Nation address. It was met with cheers from both sides of politics after he announced the ban on pogos, his stand on the West Philippine Sea, and the progress of his administration's battle against dangerous drugs. President Marcos also highlighted the achievements of his administration in agriculture, food security, and energy. The numbers were impressive. The plans look promising. Tonight, we'll take a look at the state of the nation's business environment, a sector that the President is working to push towards more investments and opportunities. There are various economic and business issues that the current administration is facing: wage hikes, price loss, apprenticeships, and job creation. Sa nakalipas na 2 taon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, patuloy na sinisikap ng gobyerno na humanap ng mga paraan para makalikha ng mga bagong trabaho, mapaunlad pa ang kasanayan ng mga manggagawang Pinoy at maisulong ang aumento sa sahod na sasapat para matugunan ang presyo ng mga pangunahing bilihin. may mga binanggit ang Pangulo sa kanyang SONA na pakikinabangan ng mga negosyante. Nagsisimula man sila o nasa malalaking korporasyon na. Ang isa sa mga isinulong ni PBBM ay ang muling pagbusisi sa Electric Power Industry Reform Act o EPIRA. Anya, kahit ang mga negosyante ay nahihirapan sa taas ng presyo ng kuryente sa bansa. The President highlighted a significant increase in new business and corporate registrations, including foreign firms, which surpassed 2023 figures. This proves that the country is continuing to be a welcoming destination for businesses. Siniguro rin ng Pangulo ang mga polisiya at programa na makapagbibigay ng pagkakataon sa mga negosyo para umusbong tulad ng mga reforma sa capital markets at ang pagpapatupad ng Green Lanes. Magagandang balita ang ibinigay ng Pangulo na may kinalaman sa mga bagay na kailangan din naman ng isang nagninegosyo, katulad ng access sa internet, transportasyon, matatag na supply ng kuryente, magaang na transaksyon sa mga tanggapan ng gobyerno at mga katulad nito. With the President at the helm, businesses remain standing despite multiple global factors and economic disruptions. Maintaining an environment conducive to business is a challenging task, but a determined leader will find solutions. After all, it is President Marcos himself who once said that the Philippines is open for business.
Kwentuhan, tawanan, masasarap na agahan, may bonus pang papremyo at sayawan!
Yan ang hatid natin tuwing umaga, kasama ang dumarami pa nating kabarangay.
Araw-araw, sabay-sabay tayong mag-enjoy, kasama kaming kabarangay nyo! Love,
Tony Pet, and everything! Kabarangay nyo!
kabarangay nyo! Kabarangay nyo! Kabarangay nyo! Tan 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 tan! Tan 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 tan!
Get together, Sunnet 25. Sunnet 25.
And the buzzword of the week is fair trade. Fair trade is a term for an arrangement designed to help producers in developing countries achieve sustainable and equitable trade relationships. From their commitment to sustainable farming practices to their dedication to crafting world-class chocolate, Malagos AgriVentures is a shining example of how our passion, tradition, and innovation can come together to create something truly special. As we've seen today, the Puentespina family's legacy is not just about producing fine chocolate, but also about preserving the environment and empowering communities. Their story is a testament to the fact that success in business is not just measured in profits, but in the positive impact you can make on the world. And with that, our quote of the week is, "In chocolate, we find the taste of craftsmanship where passion meets precision." Thank you, Jam. Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat sa iyo. At maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama ninyo sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo. Dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo. Samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat. Mga ka-Net 25, this is 𝗙𝗍𝗍𝗲 of Open for Business. For more updates, just click the subscribe button and follow us on Net25 social media pages at Net25 TV and at Net25 Entertainment Facebook pages.